Let me see if I could get some light going here. Whoa. Let's see, adjust my camera so it doesn't. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Anime, you've been here. I don't know if you're here now. Crystal's Adventure and Anime. Knitband is in the house. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Minnie is, we just woke up. Minnie just, I had 5 minutes, jump in the shower because I didn't want you, I wanted to be nice and presentable, but we were late because we got up and Minnie, she was like, hey, you think they'll see me if I stay here and lying on the bed? And I was laughing at her. So she got up and moved to the living room or one of the other rooms. I'm not sure where she's at. Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite, is in the house. And hello, Larry. Larry, I bet you know what one of the first things is that I want to talk about this morning. But Mel is here. Hi, Mel. Enjoy chatting with you on social media. I think social media is going to be one of the topics today. I'm not sure, but I desperately need my cup of coffee. Sir Dan, yeah. I don't have a donut with me today, but they made a trip to the local bakery around the corner. So I do have my panda saw. Good morning, Shaylin Reese. How are you? Thanks for coming to the live. Leonard's here from Houston, or is that Houston? I'm not sure exactly which one. I apologize for eating a little snack before the live here. What happened, Knitband? So apparently Knitband is the mysterious man from the east of Sacramento, that is, and one of the most eligible bachelors in the stream, living in an area that's east of Sacramento. Maybe you recall the name of it from the Johnny Cash song, where he did his live from Folsom Prison. No, Knitband is not a resident of Folsom Prison. I doubt that Knitband has ever committed a crime, as a matter of fact, not even a misdemeanor. I would be surprised to learn that Knitband has had a single traffic infraction. Thanks for letting me have some fun with you, Knitband. So, if any of you ladies are single and interested, there's Knitband. Larice, I could hardly wait till the moment that we meet. Daisy Lynn's in the house. Thanks so much, Daisy Lynn, for always dropping my link and pinning me to your channel. I truly appreciate it. Anna Mae, what do you say? Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Hellos all the way around. Oh, there you go. There's Larice, the Philippines' most eligible bachelorette and socialite. I think she's sending you a clear message that she'd like to get with you one day in Knitband for coffee and donuts. Yes, thank God. TGFI or TGIF, Dan's old stomping ground. Exactly. Very, very well known in the Sacramento region, and it's a good reason for me to avoid ever returning again. Yes, indeed. I hear the police are still looking for me. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Sharing around the world is the way you do it. That's the way you do it, Crystal. All right, let's get started. I want to talk about. I don't know if during this live I'm going to have a chance to highlight every message that is coming across the screen here. Talk amongst yourself if you must. I wanted to start off by talking about the trip that Minnie and I just took. It was a quickie trip, and the reason why we Bryce is here. Hi, Bryce. Bryce is twice as nice. Um, I want to talk about the reason for going to Cebu. Why did we go to Cebu? Well, one is that I was testing out. This was my idea. It wasn't Minnie, so don't send Minnie hate mail. But uh, oh, okay. There. Okay, I see, Larry. Oh my! You know, this isn't true confessions, Larry. You know, there's stuff on social media that you can keep a secret. Thank you for sharing, Bryce, among your community. I truly appreciate it. You have a hella ton of followers. Not a single ticket other than that one parking ticket in San Francisco. Well, you know, you ain't right if you don't get at least one ticket in San Francisco during the course of a lifetime. I certainly have had more than my share of tickets in San Francisco. Hello, lazy, except he's not lazy. He's Larry Lee. All right, so let's talk about what I was going to talk about. Let me try and figure it out because now I lost my place already. Let me take a sip of coffee and see if that helps. Oh yeah, usually before a long trip, I have to take a test drive, and I realize it may be because I have some kind of travel anxiety disorder. Now, I've told people I'm very comfortable with flying and being on the water and taking a bus on a long distance journey. I've done all those things more than once. But for some reason or another, right before a long journey, or getting on a plane, I have to go take a test run to see if I remember what it's like to travel. So now we've been in Baybay City here. Thank you, Anime, for sharing. We've been here for a few months now. We've been in the Philippines for a few months. I think since September, October, November, December. Yeah. And then prior to that, we were a month in Thailand and other places. So Nipan says the LDR, the long distance relationship didn't work. She was too immature and there was a huge language barrier. The language barriers will get you every time, won't they, Nipan? Except you're talking the Philippines now. A whole different ball game here. Most Filipinos can speak 4, 5, and 6 different languages and 10 or 20 dialects. So, and one of them is English. As a matter of fact, I know somebody who speaks perfect English that if they moved to the United States, you would not be able to tell that they were an immigrant, because they articulate their verbiage almost perfectly. All right, where were we? Oh, so, and also, so I wanted to take this trip to Cebu. And the other thing was I wanted to do it impromptu. And that way I could be challenged to, let's say that we arrive and there's no fast ferry going across to Cebu. Let's say we arrived and we took the last fast ferry to Cebu. Let's see if we can get over it. Let's see if we get stuck on the water because of an engine failure. You wouldn't want to get stuck in the air with an engine failure. I highly doubt that. But on the water, that might be a little bit different because under the seat, you will always find your safety vest. Always move away from the ship, though. Always move away from the boat or the ship, so it doesn't take you down with it, if it sinks. All right, so that was the reason for this trip. It was a quick one. And I got to tell you that neither Minnie and I wanted to come back. We were having such a good time in Cebu, in the circle in the Mango area. We stayed at the ABC Hotel, and it's I mean, how could they? You know what blows me away about the ABC Hotel? How could they offer up such a fantastic deal on a room for such a low price? It was such a nice room. It was so quiet. It was almost like we were the only people there. We could have been. I barely ran into one or two people, one or two other expats while we were there. And it was so inexpensive, super clean, super helpful and friendly staff. Uh, would do it again in a heartbeat. And four nights, count them for only something like 11 or 12 or 1,300 pesos per night. How can they afford to do that? I just don't know. But that was the deal. And so we could have stayed forever there, because the gal at reception said at checkout, "Hey, Dan, you want to stay forever here?" And I was like, "Yeah." But unfortunately, I got to go home. So now we made our way over there, and then we explored the old, Chris and Cebu area in Mango and around Osamina Circle. And soon, we'll post a video. Here's what I'm doing on the video. You guys already saw you saw the video, or hopefully you did, of us leaving to go over there. And then I got tired of editing the part 2 of the video. It shows us going, to the Christmas tree, over the bridge, and walking around. And so I enlisted the help of a friend to help me edit. And my friend kind of went, you're pathetic again. I have to start all over. So you may see some of the same video footage in the upcoming video that'll be up Monday or Tuesday next week, with a new intro. Again, because my friend said, "Well, you're so amateurish, Dan. You need a helper." I said, "Yeah, I know. That's why I came to you, to see if you could video edit this." And they showed me what they got so far, through file sharing and stuff, and it's going great. All right. That's the reason why to Cebu, because I wanted to feel comfortable with traveling. I have to get in the mode. Now, why? Where are we going? All right, we have friends from Sacramento. Nipan, you're listening in the BG. We have friends coming in from Sacramento who is actually going to be moving to Thailand. Now, his name is Dave. He's a world traveler. I mean, he's in Thailand now. He landed yesterday. And we're going to be meeting up with Dave and his brothers and his friends. Let's say there's Roy, Dave, there's Ryan. We're going to be meeting up with them soon. But I want to stay in Bangkok. I want to stay in through the 22nd of January, because January 22nd is what? Chinese New Year. And if you've never done, now they do Chinese New Year just spectacularly here in the Philippines. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you guys haven't gone over there and given me the thumbs up, the like, I appreciate it. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe while I'm at it. All right, so here's the thing. Anaflor. The thing about it is that I want to be there during Chinese New Year. I want to be in Chinatown, in Bangkok, or at least Pattaya. If I can't afford to hang in Chinatown on New Year's Day, then I want to be at least somewhere close by. Pattaya, I've done a Chinese New Year in Pattaya one year, and it was absolutely insane. Yeah. Oh, you're generous with your words, Larry. You really are. You're quite generous with your words. I truly appreciate it. Hell, Anaflor Elavera. Hell. He meant hello, of course. All right. So Nipan said, "I will land in Bangkok on January 23rd. I'll also visit India, my home." Nipan, are you serious? Are we going to be in the neighborhood during the same time? Finally, we get to meet each other, right? And so here's the whole thing, Nipan. Nidban. It's time we meet, right? It's time we meet in a faraway land so that we can share with other people. We could tell stories, you know what I mean? We could say, oh yeah, I met my buddy from Sacramento area, Folsom, in Thailand. And then they'll say, oh, what'd you do that for? Because it makes for a great story, you see? And then we could do, I don't know if you're shy, but we could do a whole knit band video, and then people could see you. Maybe you don't want people to know what you look like for obvious reasons. The fact that you're a multimillionaire and very wealthy. But anyway, oh no, I don't know where that came from, Knit Band. I know you didn't want me to share that with everybody. Yeah, and so I said through the 22nd, but no, when it's visa on arrival in Bangkok right now. And then if you want to extend it, it costs you $50 at the immigration office. I have yet to decide how that whole thing is going to work because, see, this is the reason why we're not there now, is because I want to make sure that I get within that 30-day time clock, because going to the immigration office can be, an unforgettable experience, and so I'm not sure. So we want to go later in the event that, I'm within that 30-day time clock. So that means I would be going after Christmas, and then, probably the 31st or the 1st of January, and then spending that whole month there, which means we will be there at the same time. Let me know. That's what do they call this one? All right. PM me on that. Knitband, PM me on that. We will have a story to share. If you want, I could bring pictures with me of Filipinas looking for, a boyfriend. Let's see. It's 45 days on arrival in Thailand now. Yeah, I looked it up. And I cannot find where it's set. I mean, show me where, if it's 45 days, we're in. We'll leave now. I'll book a plane now. But link the website in there that shows that it's 45 days, because someone told me it was. Someone told me for American passport holders, it is 45 days upon arrival now in Thailand, which would be absolutely fantastic. All right, so Minnie and I, we did that. We did the run. We did the practice run. Neither one of us wanted to leave the Cebu area. We were having such a great time in Mango area, and then we went to. Some of you know that we met with Pacquiao Mertz at SMC side, a fabulous mall. Minnie wanted to get out there and try ice skating, and we just didn't have the time to do it. Next time. Man, that does sound absolutely delicious. Larry, you know how to live. That sounds delicious. So, go, Sir Dan, buy a plane and fetch me here. I need to ride too. Well, get your passport updated. Crystals, get your passport in order. Hey, Billy is here. Billy from, I believe, Billy, aren't you from the Rancho Cordova area, if I can recall? How are you? Another local gamer from the Sacramento area. How are you doing? Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not wearing the hat. I'm not sure exactly. I looked all over for it. I was live in 2 minutes. I was like, dang, where's my trademark hat? I need a trademark hat. But now you're stuck with Dan without the hat. So what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? I do not live a stress-free life. You know Billy, Larry, Billy, Larry. When I've been in Billy's lives, he's doing the gaming. He's the gamer. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Hello again. Hello. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Let's talk about something. So now, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but this is directed towards the obviously the expats in the house from the U.S. of A. Go renew it, Crystals. Go renew it. 60. Well, it is expensive now, right? It's $60 for 10 years. No. Maybe I think the standard is a 5-year passport, but don't they go 10 years now? I sent the link to your messenger. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I got it. I see it. All right, I believe I do. Oh man, people are messaging me with all kinds of Oh, you're tagging me, you guys. Okay, thank you. All right, so now where am I? Uh, I would like to thank all the 8 or 10 people that are in the house right now for showing up, wanting to listen to my useless diatribe. But I'm about ready to talk about something that I still think folks aren't understanding. So I'm going to help. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help out the expats in the room and the lurkers, the one that may be here that aren't showing up in my chat. Okay. Hi, Mel. Mel is in the house. I saw her. Oh, there she is. All right. All right. I don't have my phone on, by the way, to the live chat. So in case you're saying, why hasn't Dan given me a jacket? Well, it's because I don't have my phone on. I'm too late. I'm too lazy to click the button. But it'll happen. It will happen. Just keep coming to my live. All right. What were we about to talk about? Oh, okay. So, Larry, can we talk? Larry, can we talk? I'm going to talk to you specifically about this. I think the other guys are too young. All right, but maybe not. All right. So, Larry. Oh, so somebody goes on their video, and they verbatim talk about what I've been talking about, the whole Medicare thing, almost verbatim. Insurance in the Philippines. It was almost directly. It was almost in the same order that I presented it in a prior live, right? But I realized, and everything was beautiful. Everything was presented exactly the way I presented it months ago in my live. I'll try not to. I'll try and behave myself. But I steal a little bit from everybody, and I embellish the truth. A lot. So you've been warned. If you don't want to watch a liar, then you need to change the channel. All right. So here's the thing, Larry. I'm talking to you now. Larry, somebody does a video, right? And it's talking about the whole Medicare thing, and it's presented exactly the way I presented it in one of my live streams, almost in the same order. But here's where they fell down, and they didn't necessarily fall down. They're entitled to their opinion, right? But it made me think that I haven't clarified this enough about insurance and the way it works overseas in the Philippines. I'm talking specifically about medical insurance. All right. So here's my opinion. For me, this is the famous Filipino line. Oh, okay. All right, Crystals. Thanks for letting us know. We'll miss you, though, if you're not here. Larry, here's the thing. for me. So now here's the beautiful thing about Filipinos and Filipinas when they're being interviewed by people like the Filipina P and others. What I notice is when they start a sentence, they say when they're asked a question, they start a sentence as an answer. They'll say for me, and that's like saying in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going to give it to you. For me, here's how medical insurance works for me, and that way I could take the bite out of what I'm going to say a little bit. This is the way I do it, right? So for me, my belief is, my opinion is that if you go over to the Philippines and you don't have at least 15K dedicated towards medical insurance, if you're an older gent like us, if you're an older person, male or female, doesn't matter. I'm gender neutral. No, I'm not neutered. I'm gender neutral now. I'm trying to be these days, right? Because that's PC. I can't get what I want to say out. You have to be able to look in the mirror, Lazy Larry, and say, I love myself 20 times every day. And if you cry, we know something's wrong. If you start crying, that's kind of like a signal, an indicator that you don't truly love yourself yet. But you will love yourself. You will love yourself if you look in the mirror and say, I love myself 20 times every day. All right. Where were we? Oh, okay. All right. Getting back to what I was talking about, which was, for me, it's only my opinion, right? And everybody has an opinion, and they're not wrong. It's their opinion. I want to make that clear and qualifying statement. But the reason why, and the only reason why I have and I pay the Medicare premium in the state is because it qualifies me for Medicare Plan N. Now, I would like for you to do a Google search right now and put in that Google search Medicare Plan N. And when it comes up, what a Medicare Plan N is, you're going to see the reason why I don't have insurance here in the Philippines. Now, the most important part about this whole thing is that you don't qualify for a Medicare Plan N unless you have Medicare. So my entire premium, now premiums for Medicare are going down next year. And as most of you know, we got a better than 8% increase in our Social Security payments, which is significant because it really wipes out. It really pays for both. In my case, it pays for both, or close to paying for both, the Medicare premium A and B, and also one of them is free, one of them's a fee, and the Plan N, the Medicare Plan N. All right, I just had to get that out. You can't get a Medicare Plan N without it. But what it basically means is, even though you're going to be reimbursed for emergency medical services while traveling overseas underneath that Plan N, not Medicare, for whatever misunderstanding is taking place, it is not the Medicare plan that pays. It's the Plan N that pays. It is a supplemental plan that pays. There would be no need for you to go and buy insurance. I mean, there would be a need, if you will, a slight need, a slight benefit, but it wouldn't be great enough in order for you to do it, to buy a policy from one of the Filipino healthcare insurance companies, because they're not going to cover you for everything, and they're going to have the same deductibles. In other words, so while one person is looking at throwing their money away on having Medicare, another person, moi, is looking at it either goes to them or it goes to a Filipino health insurance company. Is anybody out there listening to me? Right? Well, you start off with 10 times. Yeah, if you start crying on the 11th time, just start off with 10. Yeah, you could say I love myself for 10 times in a row. All right, so you get where I'm going with this? In other words, if you don't pay the Medicare premium, bad things happen. One is if something does happen and you're visiting the United States when you're sick, you won't get medical care under anybody's policy. And the medical care in the United States is outrageously expensive. See, am I getting through? In other words, but yet, Medicare Plan N will pay for my emergency health care services anywhere that I am in the world. In the Philippines, in Thailand, in Cambodia, and God forbid, Vietnam. See, that's the point that I'm trying to make. So, my opinion, for me, this is the best way to go. And then have $15,000 in the bank ready to go because it's a reimbursement program when you're overseas. You have to pay first. Why is 15,000 the magic number for me? 15,000 is the magic number for me because it means that, it basically means that I can pay for open heart surgery. I can pay for just about anything in Southeast Asia because heart surgery at St. Luke's or heart surgery at Changhua is going to run between $10,000 and $15,000. The same operation, quadruple bypass, will cost you $800,000 in the United States without insurance. Question, Dan. Yes, but check this out. Isn't it only for emergencies? It's for inpatient care. Why would you need it for outpatient care, Leonard? When a doctor visit is going to cost you less than $10, no matter what Asian country you're in. So are you following me? Are you following me on this? Of course, the insurance that's being offered in the Philippines is not comprehensive. Rose is here. Hi, Rose. Roseanne is in the house. Thank you so much for coming to the live. So I hope I'm getting through. I hope I'm getting through to you. You see, the insurance that's offered in the Philippines, the healthcare insurance, is not the comprehensive type insurance that most people think that it is. They don't cover everything. They don't cover pre-existing conditions. Check this out. Leonard, my insurance covers every pre-existing condition that I have. Someone check this out. So that's the reason why I'm so passionate about it. Somebody has said, for me, in my opinion, there's no need to carry Medicare insurance. And I obviously disagree. Feel as though they should give both sides of the story. And then I realized they probably don't know both sides of the story. They probably don't know what's at stake here. Will there be? Well, Nidban, you better save your money. Oh, yes, indeed. Listen, for me, healthcare should be a human right. It is in some countries. It should be a human right. They should treat anywhere, wherever you are around the world. But there was some other information in that blog. And I talked about it. I just want to remind people about it. The other information is that thank God to retiring Filipino nurses because their professional organization got behind a movement for the portability of Medicare. And this movement is gaining speed. And so with any luck, Medicare will be accepted at selected hospitals around the world. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, you know. Cross your fingers. Medicare is getting very interested in this idea. I don't know what the percentage of people are that leave the United States for lands unknown, but the portability of Medicare makes sense because you can, because check this out, you're Medicare, you're a Medicare claims analyst, and you're sitting there going, let's see, Dan here at open heart surgery. Let's see, Dan needs open heart surgery. I need to approve it, right? It's $800,000 in the United States. It's going to cost Medicare $15,000 in Thailand. Gee, I think we'll buy Dan a plane ticket and we'll put him in Bangkok Hospital, one of the fanciest, most skilled treatment you're going to get at Bangkok Hospital. I think we'll fly him there, let him have a first-class room with all the bells and whistles, you know, and pay for it. Can you not see that happening one day? Yes, if all expenses are reimbursed, then it's good enough here, because if you need outpatient medical services, you're going to pay in cash, the same way that any Filipino pays in cash. Yeah, if you don't have enough money, you're dead. And I've been reminded of this many, many times. And so you have to have that $15,000 ready to go. It has to be in your pocket. Listen, I'm not a fan of keeping 15 grand hanging around, and I'm not saying that I do, right? That I do have that kind of cash hanging around, but it's accessible. It's accessible enough in one of the local banks. You see, and I have credit cards, and so if you don't have the actual cash, you're going to be backing yourself up with credit cards. Yeah. My dad had bypass surgery in a top hospital in India, Christian Medical College. I was taking care of him at that time. The cost was around $1,500. Yes. I have not a lot. I have two friends, I would say, two that I know of, that had their medical treatment, very serious neurological surgery in India. Folks, that's why you need. So anyway, the point here is that you can get affordable health care, even for the most serious ailments, anywhere around the world except the United States. And that's why, so this, I want to talk specifically about insurance, but I don't think I will. Okay, let's say you go to one of the most popular, I won't mention them, right? But I'll mention the policy. Let's say you go, it's the policy that this vlogger says he has admitted that he has. He has a very basic insurance policy, right? It's running him about 120, or listen, I get, for me it would run, because I already checked the premium price. It's going to run between $125 and $150 per month for this policy. It's a peso plan. It can only be used in the Philippines, and the payout is in pesos. So check this out. I'm paying for the policy in American dollars. I'm not paying pesos for it. And then they're paying out the care that I need in pesos. Okay, does anything strike you weird, interesting about that whole methodology? In other words, oh, hey, Bang is in the house. All right. You guys get where I'm going with this? So how good is that policy? Well, it has so many exclusions in it, I couldn't get around to see whether that policy was good for me or not. It had so many exclusions for my pre-existing conditions for the first year. I go, well, let's say that I bought the policy and I self-insured for those pre-existing conditions for that same year. You have to do the math. You have to sit down with your Excel spreadsheet and you have to figure out, if you benefit from this or not. I think you guys can figure out, that it wasn't worth it, that self-insuring was a better way to go, and having the Medicare and the Medicare plan in active. Now, see, here's the other reason why you do it, because you only have it such a period of time, right? It's a limited period of time to sign up for Medicare to get the premium rate. Now, let's say to get the low rate. And as long as you maintain it, you're always going to be paying the basic rate that everybody else is for that insurance. But you come to the party late, outside of your enrollment period, outside of your turning age 65. And guess what they do? They help themselves to a bonus, right? You no longer are entitled to the low rate, the intro rate that you get offered within the first, 6 months of turning age 65 or whatever it is. All right. That's why when you turn 65, you have 6 months to make the decision. Now, why are we paying hefty taxes? I have no idea. That's a basic human right. It's as important as public safety, and so it should be free. It should be part of the deal. So now, but we've privatized it and we monetize everything. And so we pay these hefty premiums. It is absolutely insane. But Medicare is like the great equalizer, right? So here's the whole thing. As long as you have the right supplemental plan. Now, I have a friend whose husband, who has since passed away, may he rest in peace, who went into a hospital here in the Philippines, had to have surgery, and their senior advantage in the United States paid for it. They reimbursed him. He had to pay up front. And they submitted the claim, and they reimbursed him for the emergency services. So also there are senior advantage programs that work the same way as Dan's plan in. All right. I hope I was clear on that. I hope it's clear. If I'm not, then just go to the internet. Marianne Robotic. How are you? So I love your channel name. All right, so the whole thing is, listen, you have to do your homework. You just can't willy-nilly tell people stuff. You can say stuff in your own opinion with all the facts. See, the best way to do this is to present both sides of the story. I could certainly see why a person wants to pay the premium payments and get this crappy insurance here that's available here in the Philippines. I can see why they do it, because it's up here. You get this peace of mind, and I'm not sure if that's real or false. It could be real for that person that is buying that policy. It's real for them, and that's important. You see, but as you get older here in the Philippines, those policies, they start adding on more and more restrictions. They'll sell you the policies here in the Philippines. They're just going to be offering you less, higher deductibles. The limits of care are going to be lower, those types of things. That's how they make money. Folks, it's a money-making proposition. It's about profit. All right. China has universal health care and it saves a lot of money for the government. Absolutely. You don't have homeless people showing up. I'm sorry. To the ER. It's focused on preventative care, and you have a lot of satellite clinics, and they each specialize in a task. For example, in the United States, they train doctors as researchers, which is silly. You want to treat, for me, in my opinion, the way you should be training a doctor how to do brain surgery is is open up a skull for them and train them how to do brain surgery. Understanding this is not brain surgery. I could not leave that there, could I? I could not leave that lie there, could I? It's not rocket science. If you want to show someone, if you want to train a doctor how to do open heart surgery, you open up a person's chest and you show them how to do it. If you want to learn how to make donuts at Dunkin' Donuts, you take a person, an 18-year-old kid like me, take him in the back room and say, "Here's a donut cutter." Are you guys getting what I'm saying? That reduces the cost of educating a doctor. It also reduces the timeline. A doctor can be trained very quickly how to specialize in one task. They learn to become experts in that one task. And that's what I want. I want the youngest, the best, the brightest doing my open heart surgery. I want it done right the first time. All right. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to PM me. All right. I have something else to talk about. The contest. So from what I understand, 25 or 30 names have been added to the drawing that's going to take place next Saturday, Filipino time at 8 a.m. I'll be live. I want to see your smiling face at 7, but we'll be doing the actual drawing at around 8. So now, right here, I have the names of the people that I already know are alive that visit my YouTube channel, that have made comments over the last 6 or 8 or 10 or 20 videos, right? And so you're in here. Now I just wanted to say one more time that we're going to be drawing 5 $1,000 winners and 10 500 peso winners. What I just say? Pesos 1,000, pesos 500. Right. So we're not doing the 50 cent thing. We're not doing the 50 peso thing or 100 peso thing. That would kill me. I'm a simple man. You know, simplicity is what I'm all about. Okay, so now, let's see. Mark is here. Thank you, Mark. Eddie's here. Thank you, Eddie, for coming. Eddie, I've seen a few. Eddie's making some nice comments in the videos. And yeah, so I wanted to say I talked about it. If you weren't here when I was talking about going to Cebu and then meeting up with Pacquiao Mertz. Now, I want to talk about this. She's a beautiful person and her family's a beautiful family. And she comes across exactly the same way she does on TV, if you don't mind me saying that. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Are you talking to me? You can't be talking to me, Mel. So thank you for that compliment, if that were for me. Maybe that was meant for Larry. All right, so now let's talk about this, right? So I seek out to meet certain people on YouTube because they intrigue me. And so I got a list that's a mile long. So yes, you're on the list. You're definitely on the list, Larice. I'm just trying to figure out when that meeting is going to take place. And I think it's going to take place soon, because if Minnie and I book that trip to Bangkok soon, then we're going to be flying through Manila, right? And so we'll have to put you on a bus or a plane or a trike or a jeepney or a bicycle, and we'll have to figure out how to get you from your province to Manila. And you've been making a lot of trips to Manila to do meetups, and so I'm thinking that all things are possible because you're willing to travel. Yeah, so the vacation was great. But like I said, that was kind of like a precursor to the big trip that we're going to be taking to Bangkok. And Minnie wants to stay. She wants to stay forever. I mean, honestly, it's a very difficult task trying to get her to convince her to pack up from Cebu. It was time to head back to Baybay. You know, why do we have to go back to Baybay? Because we have to get ready to go to Bangkok. You know, I tried to explain to her. I said we're gonna be heading out soon. Thank you for all 14 that are here. I truly appreciate it. Anna May. All right. Dan, we have a meetup the 17th on the day we're doing the drawing. Oh no. You're going to be in transit, right? Mel, you are swell. That's all I got. All right, so now so the meetup is important, right? And then I started thinking about other things, you know, as my brain cannot settle on just thinking about, you know, oh, it's so nice to meet up with someone, right? I started thinking about how she comes across exactly. I have to turn off this light. I have a light on battery that, yeah, it didn't do anything. I apologize for the poor lighting. Let me back up. 2001: A Space Odyssey. All right, so here's the thing. I started thinking about a whole bunch of things. I hope I don't offend anybody by talking about this, but for me, oh, I know it might be. You might end up being unable to participate. All right, bring me home an elephant from Thailand. I'll try. I'll try to get you an elephant in my suitcase. I think it's against the law to smuggle an elephant out of the country, though. Mm. All right, so I keep getting lost. For me, I gotta tell you that a couple of people started posting things on Facebook. I'm not gonna out them, but you should know who they are. I'm not outing anybody. That's not what this channel is all about. But I started thinking you were posting stuff on Facebook and started talking about um, thought-provoking things, you know. And so I pretty much read the stuff they were saying about, you know, about Facebook friends, you know, and then I woke up in the middle of the night because some of you saw me playing around on my Facebook page early this morning Philippine time, right? I started looking on there and I started messing around. The reason why was because I woke up and started thinking. I started thinking about whether Facebook friends were really your friends, you know? And maybe that is the reason why I have been wanting to meet up with some of my YouTube friends, is because I'm thinking that the circle of friendship may not be complete until you actually meet the person that you have friend on Facebook. Does that make sense to anybody? Yeah, just tell them that your elephant is in your trunk. Larry, Larry, you ran with it, brother. You ran with it. Thank you very much. It's raining here. Yeah, it's raining here too. Big storm coming in. And we had an earthquake, right? We had an earthquake in northern Leyte. Maybe it was felt in Leyte. And what's the island north of us, Samar? Oh, by the way, I didn't even finish talking about how come you guys aren't keeping me on task. I was going to talk about the ride back and forth on the fast ferry, on the super cat or the ocean jet. So anyway, what the whole shocking thing about going over to Cebu, by the way, was how much it cost, how expensive it is. I could not believe it. The last time I took a super cat or an ocean jet, it was $10. It was $10. It was 500 pesos, 400 to 500 pesos to go from Ormoc City across to Cebu. I was shocked to discover that that fare has gone up to pesos 1100. So I was looking at my wife. I'm going, holy smokes! That's like the equivalent of $18 American. That's like the equivalent of $18 US. And so this is one reason for wanting to take such an impromptu trip, is to find out all these, to discover all these things. So I started looking around. I started looking around at like, who's paying all this money to go there? And then I started to see that the people, the bodies that were filling up those seats on the Super Cat, they looked like they were doing all right. In other words, they were dressed nicely. They had suitcases with the trolleys on them, so they were like rolling their trolley suitcase onto the ocean jet. So I started being the keen observer of the human condition. I started to think that, oh wait, this is becoming a venue for the middle class, right? Because if you're a person that is living, you're struggling to put food on the table, which most people are, you would be taking the overnight ferry from Ormoc to Cebu. The overnight ferry is now somewhere in that 500 peso area. It's going to take longer to get there. So we could have taken the Lapu-Lapu directly from Baybay City to Cebu. It would have been a 7-hour journey. Leaves at 8 p.m. and gets there 7 hours later in the morning in Cebu. The problem with this idea for me, even though it's cheap enough to go this way and you could rest because you get a bunk and all this other stuff on the ferry, is the fact that travel time. By the time that you get over there, you could already be on the fast ferry across the water and checked into your hotel. All right, so that's what the problem with taking the overnight. And that you'll be roaming around the streets of Cebu at 3 a.m. in the morning with cab drivers and trike drivers coming up to you all day, all night, saying, you need a ride somewhere, right? And then you would have nowhere to go because check-in time for most hotels is going to be 2 p.m., 12 to 2 p.m. Now, it would mean having to book a room for that same night and letting the hotel know that you're coming in late that night or early the next morning. And you pay the full price of the room for that limited use. So like I said, most of you know they don't call me low budget Dan for nothing. I know. It's not really low budget. But I try and save $1 wherever I can, so I can give some away to you through a contest, through a raffle drawing. So anyway, that's why we opted. So now going north to Ormoc is a 1-hour adventure, right? But you hook up with a fast ferry fairly quickly because you've got the Super Cat and the Ocean Jet running, and it'll get you over there. If you leave, let's say mid-morning, you'll get there around 8 p.m. And that's a little bit better than getting in there at 3 a.m. in the morning. But it's a toss-up to me which one is better. For me, I'm kind of thinking it's a toss-up. That I probably would rather spend the money at the hotel and knowing that I won't get full use of it for a whole night and take the Lapu-Lapu because it's more convenient. I just go over to the pier, jump on the Lapu Lapu at 8 o'clock, have rest and relaxation, make fun of people on deck. No, not make fun of them. Have fun talking to them is what I meant. And then arrive at 3 a.m. Good morning, Tim. Welcome to my live. Hi, everyone. So it was an experiment to see, to acclimate Minnie and I on our future travel, and also to see what it would cost to do this and if it could be done in an impromptu way. In other words, can you just grab your stuff and say, hey, honey, let's go to Vegas, baby. And then by a couple hours later, you're in Las Vegas, something like that. Oh, I don't know if you guys can relate to me on this subject or not. I took a fast ferry from El Nido to Caron. The flights from Caron are much cheaper. Yeah. So, it's up to you. If you've never been on a fast ferry and you want to have that adventure, then that's part of it. But you see, it's a 2.5 to 3 hour treacherous drive to the nearest airport from here, Nitban. We have to go from Baybay City to Tacloban to get the plane to Cebu. And it's a treacherous ride on that highway, And I'm probably going to be sitting on one of those wooden bench seats. So I think it's better to take the overnight ferry to Cebu and let the hotel know we're coming in late. But I have to talk to people who have done that run. I have started to talk to people who have done that run to Tacloban, to the airport. And, it is like 75-25. They're saying, don't do it, Dan. You won't lose your life on the plane. You'll lose it on the bus ride there. Yeah, but I don't have, I'm not hooked into let me see. Let me quit fooling around here. Take a break, everyone. Take a 5-minute break. And I'm going to get on my phone here. Yeah, this is kind of like the Oprah Winfrey show where everybody gets a jacket. Everybody gets a car, a brand new car. Let's see, where am I? I'm lost in space. Talk amongst yourself, fans. Oi, 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 oi. You guys know that I'm low tech, right? You should know that by now that I'm low. They don't call me low tech Dan for nothing. It's either low tech or no tech. Thank you for 14 or 15 people that are in the chat right now. I truly appreciate it. Marianne, okay, found her. Marianne. There's so many songs with Marianne in it. Marianne is now moderated, and I missed somebody else. Somebody else was asking. Was it Bang? Maybe Bang left me because I didn't give him a jacket. I hate it when people. Yeah, I'm just not on my game today. Okay, so that's the story on the trip. That is the story on the trip. What's next? Oh, okay. So now the next subject. Let me know if I'm going too fast on this. Let me know if you need me to slow down so you can take notes, because there probably will be a test on what I've said later. There'll probably be a pop-up quiz later on what I'm talking about. All right, so this stuff starts showing up on Facebook. And the stuff, I'm not going to tell you specifically what I was reading, right? I'm not going to go into it. But the thought pops into my head, are Facebook friends really your friends? And so I started thinking about, is that the reason why I want to meet the YouTubers in person? It's because I'm old school, right? And then why am I meeting them? Am I trying to size them up? Is the person genuine? Is the person disingenuous? Are we really friends? Are we really Facebook friends? It's so delicious. Yes. Then I realized that, so then I start, you were hoping, Tim was saying he's hoping for a new car. Yeah, a Matchbox car is coming your way, Tim. The next time we see each other, I will have in my pocket, a Matchbox car or a Hot Wheel. All right. Okay. Do your chores, Mel. I don't want to interrupt you're doing chores. Welcome. I know. I know. I heard the sump pump going all night. Welcome. All right, so let's talk about this. The question is, feel free to answer. Feel free to give me your thoughts. I can flunk the test without any notes. Are Facebook friends really your friends? That's the question. And does age make a difference in Facebook? I mean, think about this. So we're socialized differently. I'm talking about those of us that are somewhere over the age of 60. I think younger than that, and they were already rocking and rolling with computers. But look at somebody where the 8888 or the Atari was the first computer exposure that I got. Some of you will know what I'm talking about. Some of you will not. That was a long way from what we have now, the evolution of computers and these small gadgets, that that you cannot function without these. That you do everything on the little machine, right? You do everything on the little machine. So would you be able to function without it, without social media? All right, so share your thoughts. So are you truly friends? Are you really friends on Facebook or any other social media for which you have not yet met the person? But you're sharing your thoughts, your emotions in the form of emojis all the time. You're letting people in on your opinions and your feelings. But now keep in mind that when you share stuff in social media, you're generally anybody that are friends, especially when you're talking about Facebook, they're going to be able to see, right? And so there's certain things. Are there things that you would share on Facebook? And are there things that you would never share with your friends on Facebook? What about you're having relationship problems? Let's say that people view you as being a loving, happy couple, and then you find out, that they're divorced. No. We're not talking about Ma'am Minnie and I. Don't get ideas in your head, okay? I said, how much information would you be willing to share with your so-called friends? Yes, let's drink coffee. How much information about yourself, your own personal life, are you willing to share with your Facebook friends. We've all heard incidents of backstabbing going on. You know, I thought so-and-so was my friend and they hurt my feeling because they gave me this emoji or that emoji online. And then my thought is, well, you're the one that shared the information with me. Had I not known, had you not shared it, I would not have known that the incident occurred. You see, in other words, Crystal, you're actually a very good example. You know, the reason why you're a good example is because you're sharing portions of your life that are fairly straightforward and generic in nature. They're not anything that is going to give anybody a handle to blackmail you on, for example. You know, for example, you don't talk about the affair that you're having with the Pandasol baker. You don't talk, no. See, there I go. I do apologize because Crystal's one of the nicest people that you'd ever want to meet. So here's the thing. But so Crystal's is a good example because she doesn't put information on there that could give somebody a reason for attacking her. You know, so how much personal information are you willing to share with your friends, and how much of a friend are they to you? But you're there though, Leonard, and I am too, but I don't use it, you know. I use Messenger. I have hundreds of friends on Facebook, but most people I have never met or chatted with on a regular basis. Okay, so Tim, that's an excellent statement. Then what's the point? What's the point, and why do you consider them friends? Is it because Facebook calls them your friends, or are they genuine friends? Crystals, you don't go on there and tell people about all the personal, intimate details of your life. And as far as I know, neither does Tim. But I have seen many people do this. And I'm going to be, for me, in my opinion, it makes me feel very, very uncomfortable. The stuff that people share, I'm not exactly sure how to react. So the need is there to become, if you care about somebody, and this is just for me, because of my age, most likely. If I'm intrigued by you or I'm impressed by you, I most likely want to meet you. It probably has to do with my age. It probably has to do with the fact that, you know, I consider you to be a true friend. So if I've said to you, let's meet sometime, it probably has more of a meaning than I even thought. But like I said, I just started to think about this stuff after reading some comments that people were posting on Facebook, who are also questioning whether Facebook friends, they didn't say it this way. They weren't wording it this way. They were just saying, you know, how much of a friend are they if they're my friend on Facebook? They were sort of questioning that ideology. Let's see. Yeah, I use Messenger mostly, but I will share some other people's shares if I think my real friends would like it. Yes, yes. That's reasonable, right? That's understandable. When I started Facebook, everybody was very interested in the massive numbers of friends. Yeah, they want the more the merrier. The more the merrier. That 1 or 2 degrees of separation thing, I think. you know. Hey, but if we're all related to each other, then we're all having incestuous relationships with each other, right? Just a thought. I'm just throwing it out there. So Crystal's saying, I just want to share happy thoughts. That is what my name, why my name Adventure. Okay. Crystal's Adventure makes sense. So, yeah, plus, well, don't you, yeah, happy thoughts, but, I mean, there are a lot of people that I know that share intimate details of their relationships, and that, like I said, that, or detailed relationships of what is occurring in their life in the moment. And that makes me feel uncomfortable. That's just a personal thing. It may not make you feel uncomfortable. For people that you've never met, that you're friends with on Facebook, to share intimate details of their life experience. Tim, I prefer the other way. Yeah, just keep it all in the family. So, so speaking of that, let's talk about YouTube a minute. Let me get off the FB thing for a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I can't picture you doing that, Crystals. Honestly, Crystals, I feel as though you're a true friend. I don't know how to say it. I don't know any other way of saying it, And in my experience with the contact that we've had back and forth through Facebook or through Messenger, I feel as though I know you, I feel as though I know who you are, and then it's an honor being your friend, you see. But I have yet to meet you. I mean, I definitely want to meet you, but I've yet to meet you. But I'm more like on a mission, thinking to myself that there's something inside me that says that I have to complete this circle and meet the people that I truly am comfortable and truly understand and truly want to be friends with. Yeah, yeah, they'll post every meal they cook or eat. That's right. Of course, a bigger benefit to Facebook and YouTube is that they'll post items like, say, when they need financial assistance, and I think that's fine. It's up to each individual person when they see those where they want to participate in assisting somebody when they're in a financial bind. Everyone here knows that I'm a fan of that, but that isn't exactly what I was talking about. In other words, I'm talking about whether people that you're friends with on social media are truly your friends. I prefer putting my details on a big billboard on the side of the road. You know what? I actually would prefer that methodology, Peter. Really, I can relate. Again, we're totally on the same page on that. That is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. If I had a place to put a billboard, I probably would put one on there. I probably would put all the details of what I wanted people to know about me up there. So this is kind of, Larry kind of spells out or articulates what I'm thinking. Dan, you can make a connection without meeting someone, but true connections come from meeting face to face. Crystal, Crystal, you crack me up. You are so funny. That's unique. No, I don't. I'm not so sure that's unique. I would be putting up there, Dan, home of the greatest home brewed coffee in the world. And then everybody in town would be saying, "Hey, you want some of the best home brewed coffee in the world? Dan, over there, Dan." uh, so that's kind of where I'm going with it, right? And so uh, I think that you have to. I think for me, for me, you have to be careful on what you post. I mean, you should be. For me, I am. You have to be careful what you want to share with the entire world, on Facebook or any other social media venue. It's not just Facebook, right? But there are a few other weird thoughts I've had that I would like to share with you. Dan, do you make cowboy coffee? No. Uh, let's see, a few other thoughts that are related to that. What were they? What were they? What were they? I don't remember now. It'll come back to me in a moment. The coffee cowboy. Oh, you're getting him started now. You're getting him started now, Leonard Lund from Houston. Or is it Houston? Anyway, are you a cowboy? Are you a cowboy, Leonard? I've been wanting to ask you that question for such a long time. All right, so if you guys were to, if you want some more information on this, I didn't really want to bore you other than just making those few general statements. And it was probably a boring topic anyway. But if you go online and you put in the Google search engine, our social media friends, social media friends, your real friends. Or you can word it this way: our Facebook friends, your real friends. Then it's going to come up with a whole bunch of interesting stuff on the topic, as you can imagine. And it's also going to discuss the Facebook generation, who they are. It's going to give you a demographic of where the whole trend really took off. And we know that during the COVID, social media platforms came in really, really handy, because during the lockdown, we could take advantage of our friends on social media. We could not take advantage of them, take advantage of the platform and communicate with them during the lockdown when we had limited movement. So here in Baybay City, of course, like in other places, they went through a period here where you couldn't come out of the house if you were older than whatever it was, 50 or 60 or some such thing. Yeah. So Leonard said, I used to be kind of a cowboy. It crosses my mind what a coffee cowboy is. Oh, never mind. Hilarious. I'm telling you, you folks here that come to my channel chat, you guys are the best. You don't need to share everything you've done or you're doing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But then again, at the same time, I want to know enough, certain information that I can get a general idea of who you are. In other words, and some of you have been really, really good about, that exploration, letting me discover, a little bit about yourself. The one thing that's very, very impressive about Filipinas is that their resilience and how hardworking they are, And so, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing the will to survive and the hope that's involved, the hope for the future that's involved in your average Filipino's life. It's just amazing. There's never a no. It's always, I can do this. I can do it. I can get through to the next day. I can provide meals for my family. I can do this. Oh, when you get there, you'll make it for you. Oh, coffee. Cowboy coffee. Yee-ha! Yes, indeed. Eddie is here. Happy Friday for some of you and Saturday morning for others. Eddie, you missed my speech about the Medicare thing. So I'm going to rewind it a little bit just for you, Eddie. I think you'll see it right away. If you go into Google and you put in Medicare Plan N, you're going to see this thing that comes up, and then you'll see it'll clarify a little bit more about what I was talking about in previous streams about why it's important to keep Medicare going, even though you're living in a foreign country. In order to get Plan N, you have to have Medicare in place. So you have to pay both premiums, the premium for Medicare and the premium for Plan N. All righty, where were we? Yes, our Facebook friends are real friends. Dan, you will never know me. I'm too tight-lipped and hate talking to people. Yes, obviously. Obviously. Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious. Sorry I missed the beginning of the live. I've been remodeling the kitchen. Yay! Well, okay, there come the $10,000 or $15,000 granite countertops. If you want to listen to or watch a funny vlog, go into Overstreet Road's YouTube channel and 2 or 3 videos prior to what he's got on, because he uploads like crazy, right? He talks about the American dream. He gives a diatribe. You know how I can go off and I can't let something go, right? I'll keep, like the Medicare thing, I'll just keep talking about it. I'll beat it to death. Well, he talks about granite countertops in a kitchen remodel, and I was rolling on the ground, right? I was rolling on the ground. You have to listen to what he has to say about that, Eddie. Oh, by the way, that's not knowing whether you're going to go with the granite countertops or not. But I've yet to meet a Filipina who wants to do a kitchen remodel who doesn't insist on granite countertops. Sorry, Eddie. I'm just having a little bit of fun. With you. Okay, Crystal says, Larry, sometimes you have to share some thoughts to others. You can learn from them too. Yes. Yeah, but you can ask them a question without presenting, you could ask them a question, infer something, and then you could qualify the statement by saying, hey, have you ever had this experience? And if you have, can you help me out with how I should approach this? Something like that. You kind of like generalize it as opposed to being more specific. Like, for example, how does divorce work in the Philippines? That's pretty specific. Oh my gosh, I'm cracking myself. I'm cracking myself up. Let's see what Eddie says. Oh, it's a small remodel, just painting the cabinets, no countertops. Yay! There, you're my kind of guy, Eddie. That's the way that I roll. Most people here just want counters. Exactly. They don't really. In the Philippines, they just put a counter in. There's no cabinet space. But you can see here, I got cabinets everywhere. And they're all filled up too. So that's how we roll in the Herrera household. I'm not sure what she's laughing at. But anyway, having fun here is the number one goal. But hey, Crystals, as you pointed out, sometimes I approach some very, very interesting topics, and this is just another one. So go into Google and find out what it says about our Facebook friends, real friends. And then you're going to come up with a whole bunch of information. Psychologists talking, articles, sociologists are in there, observationalists, you name it. Anybody that is anybody or not anybody is going to share their opinion on the subject. Let's see. I am so when it comes to Medicare. I have a list of things to prepare for the Philippines. I add the Medicare plan and to look into this. Yeah. And so what we were talking about earlier is the one guy that does videos on this, right? And he just put another video up where he talks about the same exact stuff that I talked about in my live stream and did it in exactly the same order. It was hard for me not to believe that he wasn't there at my live stream when I'm talking about Medicare, and the reason why you want to pay the Medicare premium as opposed to shopping your insurance overseas. The answer, and I haven't articulated it well enough, I think. Yeah, that's right. I'm a minimalist, Tim, myself, but the wife ain't. So there you go. Happy wife, happy life, as they say. And that is that, Eddie, is that in order to get the plan in, you have to have Medicare in place. Buffering. Am I buffering? So take a look at that. In fact, I'm going to do it for you so you don't have to, Eddie. Let me see. Let me Google it. Medicare plan N. There you go. What does Plan N cover? Plan N covers Medicare Part A deductible of $1,556, co-insurance for Parts A and B, 3 pints of blood, and 80% of medical costs incurred during foreign travel. So there you have it, Eddie. It's a reimbursement program for foreign travelers. And so, I mean, Medicare, they thought of it all. I mean, let's see. I'm retired. What am I going to do? Oh, I know. I'll travel. I know. I will travel. All right. So it wouldn't surprise me, getting back to what I was talking about as far as Facebook friends, that you would struggle to get people to communicate with you, unless it was in a survey form. So let's say that. So now when I go on Facebook, I'm like, if you've seen me on Facebook, Mel, you've seen me. You're in the background, right? So I'm going like this. I'm going through my friends, Facebook pages. I'm like that picture, like all those pictures. I'm going to ignore that one, like this one, like that one. Heart, right? Laugh, heart, thumbs up, thumbs down. No, I never do a thumbs down. I've never seen a thumbs down. I don't even think that's a choice. tear, crying, laughing. Very, very few comments. Are you following me? Very, very few comments. In other words, even when you're getting 1,000 hits on your Facebook page, 1,000 views, I will see 3 comments. What's that all about? Thank you, my friends. Thank you. Wow, only 3 pints of blood. That's all we need, you know. Well, you probably are going to have to pay for those. Yeah. Yeah, but the whole point is there is no better insurance that I could find. Unless there is, but you'd have to pay $1,500 a month for it. That's the whole problem. With that, you would still be out of pocket. Yes, and so would you be out of pocket for whatever insurance that you're buying. No, Medicare isn't. The Plan N is. See? So I went around, so I did mini survey. I go around to a couple of hospitals. I said, do you accept this insurance? They go, yes. There you go. That's all you need. That's all you need, Tim. So let's say you went back to the United States, right? And you had to have something done. No, worse yet. Let's say you didn't subscribe to the Medicare program. You weren't paying the premium and you had to go back to the United States for this surgery, that surgery. You ain't getting it without paying cash, right? They'll say, well, your open enrollment is in November, and so you have to wait for open enrollment to sign up, and then you're going to pay a penalty because you didn't enroll in Medicare within the first eligibility months, the first 6 months of turning age 65. Then what comes next after that is worse. You can't get one of the supplemental plans or a senior health advantage unless you go through a physical examination. Then once you have the physical examination, guess what happens? We're not going to cover you for this because you had prostate cancer. We're not going to cover your heart because you have a stent. We're not going to cover your. But if you sign up in the very beginning, within the 6 months of eligibility of turning age 65, they have to take you by law. Your only responsibility is to make the premium payments for both the Medicare A and B and the supplemental plan that you choose or the senior advantage plan that you choose. If you decide to wait for that 6 months to expire, the next time they see your smiling face because you got sick and you need open heart surgery is on the day that open enrollment takes place, which is what? November through December 7th. Yes, the VA. But it would be the VA where they provide full services. Oh, you just brought up another important point, Larry. I want to talk about that a little bit. They're gearing up to open up a few of the military bases here in the Philippines, which means that they're going to need more medical personnel in order to staff the medical clinics that are going to be opening up on those bases. And I have heard someone can fact check me that I have heard that they're starting to hire for that it's going to happen. If you need 10 pints of blood at one at a time, you would be dead already. Yeah, most likely you would be. I believe that what Leonard say is pretty true. So that would mean that you'd be able to, if you're a veteran, you would most likely be able to take advantage of those base clinics that are going to be opening up. Okay, so Tim, if you already paid for Part B, then well, you're in good shape because you're covered under Medicare, But where the overseas part comes in is if you had a Part N or a Part F, I think it is, but a plan. I'm sorry, not a part. It's called a plan. if you had a plan N or one of the other plan Fs, then if you had an emergency overseas, they're going to cover 80% of the medical costs. And so, and that is better than any insurance that you can buy over here in the Philippines. I've checked it out for you. I've done the work so you don't have to. So let's say that all of a sudden I started feeling I'm feeling a little pain up here, right? And I go to Cebu to Chunghwa Hospital. And they say, oh, Dan, you're experiencing a heart attack. We're going to have to go in there and we're going to have to put a few stents in. How you plan on paying for this? You would pay the $15,000 that you saved for medical emergencies before you moved over here. You would pay from that pile of money. And then you would submit your claim to the Plan N administrator, and then they would decide how much they're going to reimburse you, up to 80% of the medical costs. So you go and you look around in the Philippines for a plan that's better than that. I challenge you to go look for it and tell me if you can find one, because I've been unsuccessful in that endeavor. Right. So I guess I'm buffering. Yes, 10 pints and you would want a pool. Yeah, 10 pints and you're making a pool, pretty much. So Tim says, if you have an Advantage plan, most give you back part or all of your Part B premium. Right. And the other thing about a Senior Advantage plan is that they will also reimburse you overseas. Some of them, I'm not saying all of them will, but they'll reimburse you for emergencies that take place overseas. And I have a friend that this happened to, and they did reimburse them the medical expenses, not 80% in the Senior Advantage plan, 100%. And so that might be the difference between a Senior Advantage plan and, and a supplemental plan like the one that I have. You're fine here, no buffering. Oh, thank you, Larry. So, okay, so keep that stuff in mind when you're going around shopping, for your plans, and you plan on living overseas, because that is, for me, that's the reason to keep those things active. Now, I'm not going to tell you the American company that provides it, but there is a company that does provide 100% of the coverage overseas, but it is a very, very expensive policy. Well, they do reimburse you. I mean, in the cases, that I'm aware of, they did get reimbursed. And so in the case of the Senior Advantage, they reimbursed 100% of the services that were provided. So, I mean, they didn't go through it with a red line or, a line out pencil and say, no, we're paying this, we're not paying that. We're paying this, we're not paying that. We're paying this, we're not paying that. That did not happen to them at all. They paid 100% of the bill. The amount that they paid was the amount they sent them a check for. So, yes, so all this crap about, no, it's not available here and all, it's all BS. And there are a couple of guys aside from me that have come on YouTube and tried to explain this, that yes, American insurance is good overseas. Here's how it works. It's reimbursement, Plan N, and Senior Advantage plans. You have to do your homework. You have to do your homework on how these things work. So that would be the reason for keeping Medicare, and there are other reasons, but that would be one reason, in my opinion, why you want to keep Medicare, premium, keep paying in the States. It's not because I'm going to jump on a plane and head home to the United States, right, to take advantage of the Medicare. It's the emergency services. You can get on a plane. If you're able to get on a plane, you're good to go, right? You just go back to where you came from, and you get the the insurance paid for, by Medicare. Because I have the supplemental, I would have almost 100% of it covered. So it would be like free. So let me give you some examples that come to mind. You're diagnosed with a slow growth cancerous tumor, right, in the left lung. You quit smoking, but all of a sudden the thing shows up, right? Well, you get it diagnosed because you're having breathing issues, and so you go to the hospital here in Cebu. They do the CT scan and the MRI and the whole thing, and they say, guess what? Sorry to have to inform you. You have what looks like a very slow growing tumor in your left lung. Well, guess what you do? You go home, because you know that condition can be managed through long-term care. They say you have 5 years to live. Your doctor says 5 years to live with chemotherapy. You go home, because you know that you can pay for you're going to get the medical care. It's going to be good enough care in the United States, and it's going to be paid for by Medicare and your supplemental plan N. No, you're right. You're right. And truth is, some people can't afford it, because, here in the Philippines, the best insurance probably is going to be Pacific Cross, and so you have to do, so Pacific Cross. So this is what, for Ma'am Minnie, we signed her up this past week or the week before leaving for Cebu. We signed her up for PhilHealth, and PhilHealth still is not inexpensive. It costs money. So she has PhilHealth insurance. PhilHealth insurance, if you go to a private hospital, it's going to cover something like 50% of the care. But for me, it's 50% of the care that I don't have to pay for out of pocket. So I'm buffering. And Tim, you probably weren't here earlier, but I'll say it again. Retired Filipino nurses in their professional organization are pushing Congress and Medicare real hard for a portability factor to Medicare. And they are really seriously looking at it. This isn't something where they said, go away, you're bothering us, right? They started crunching the numbers, and it raised this is the raised eyebrow. It raised the eyebrows of the Medicare analysts, saying, whoa, this is a good deal. We have hospitals that are around the world that are every bit as good as, as hospitals, and not better than hospitals in the United States. And they can get care there for a fraction of the cost. So why would you want to pay $800,000 for US dollars for open heart surgery in the United States when you could buy Dan a plane ticket to Thailand, and he could have first class service in Bangkok Hospital, right? Food delivered by Grab, if you will. Every meal, cable television set, and it will not even cost a fraction of the amount that it would cost in the States. Sign me up for that action. This is exactly the way Congress and Medicare are looking at it, because they're looking to mitigate the high cost of care. And this fits right into their agenda for doing that. Marion is here. Thank you, Marion, so much for coming to my live. Right, exactly. I apologize for boring some of you in talking about this. I just thought it was so important to get this out. Madeline is here. How are you? Thanks for coming to my live. So, yeah, Part A is free. Part B, you're paying the premium for. Well, you can get Part A, but Part B you have to pay for. So, You have to get them both together. So yeah, you have to get Part A and B, hospitalization, private doctor. They work together, and the whole idea is they take a premium out of your Social Security or your pension check in order to pay that premium. And there just happens to be somebody on YouTube who's suggesting to people that they don't need the insurance. All I'm trying to do here is clarify by explaining my own personal situation why you would want to do it. I would not be the guy to give you a blanket statement saying that, oh no, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to save your money and put it in a private policy. Because when I searched around in the Philippines for a private policy, there was none that does what I already have. People get lost in the idea that Medicare cannot be used in the Philippines. And my point was, not now it can't, but the supplemental plans and the senior advantage plans can be used in the Philippines. That is a fact. And so people need to, they need to square away and give everybody decent information about how this thing works. I'm just the guy to do it for you. I got nothing better to do. I'm retired. I'm just going to travel around and, hope for the best. Well, you never know, Crystals. You may be able to offer somebody some help, someday in understanding how this works. Yeah, from what I understand, something's in the works too. That's the thing also, Tim. Tim, put your feelers out there. The word is starting to get out that they're staffing up. Well, why would they be staffing up if all you're going to handle in Manila is service-related ailments? They're staffing up. The rumor mill is starting to catch fire. That they're opening up those 5 or 6 bases in the Philippines, and they're each going to have their own medical clinic for which vets will be able to take advantage of those clinics. And so I don't know. I'm not a vet. It's not my area. It's not my area of expertise. So the vets out there, I would get going on this rumor mill to validate it, to see whether it's true or not. The first signs that people started to send messages to me about were the postings on USA Jobs or whatever it is for all kind of different medical personnel, doctors and, nurses and this aid and that aid and administrators and all that other stuff. Hi there. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. 14 people. So I haven't scared 14 people out. Okay, so just a reminder, next Saturday is the drawing. We're going to draw names. There's going to be 5 1,000 peso winners, and there's going to be 10 500 peso winners delivered to your GCash. Don't miss out. You have to be present to win. You must be present to win. How we'll do it is that I'll call your name. I'll say, Larice, 1. Larice, 2. Larice, 3. Larice, 4. Like that. Dan, yes, but they sign you up for Part A. If you want Part B or C or D, you must pay for it. That's correct. They sign you up for Part A. The Part A is kind of, doesn't give you enough bang for the buck you're paying for it to be worth anything. You need a comprehensive package. You must pay for 3 months up front and every 3 months after that. Okay. Well, I'm paying my premium. It comes out of my Social Security check on a monthly basis. So I don't know why that they do mine that way. I'm not sure why. But every month I could see my line item and it says, Part B. And then and then Part N I pay for out of direct deposit or direct debit from my bank account. Madeline, I wanted to compliment you on your picture, your thumbnail. You're like one of those people, Madeline, that you could completely change like a chameleon, and people would not even know if you put like 6 pictures of you in different poses, different hairstyle and outfits. They would not be able to tell that you were the same person. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not able to tell. That is really strange to me, you know. Yeah, private end is a supplemental policy, and many companies offer it. It's offered geographically, though, based on where you live, based on where you signed up for your Medicare. So let's say you're maintaining it's regional. They divide everything up in the region. That's what drives the cost of stuff up. So Plan N, depending on where you live, what zip code that you have your permanent residence in, permanent residence. That determines what companies can offer the plan. So in my particular case, it was Cigna Health. So in my particular case, it was Cigna. So Cigna Plan N. So I pay $93 a month out of my bank account debit card for that insurance. I could pay it up front, but I pay monthly. I pay monthly $93. And I also have Aetna for the drug plan. So no, I didn't go with a Senior Advantage plan. It was too expensive. At the time, Senior Advantage was offered to me. I had to take it through my employer. Through my employer, my government employer. It was problematic. Because it was problematic for me. Because this was a cheaper way to go, to get the Medicare Plan A and B, plus the drug plan and the Plan N was way cheaper premium wise than it was for the Senior Advantage plan. And so I piecemealed it together. Believe me, I had all kind of people calling me saying, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then when I interrupted their sales pitch, I said, no, I just want a supplemental. Do you sell a supplemental plan? It was like this, click. They hung the phone up on me. They don't want people to know the supplemental plans exist, until you take your Social Security, at which time they will take the payment out each month out of your check. Right now, they're pulling it out monthly for me. I was still working when I signed for Medicare. It was cheaper than insurance from the job. That is exactly what happened to me, Leonard. And so, yeah, Medicare. Once you turn 65, if you're still working, they have to offer it through your. They have to offer it to you. It was not okay. Larry says it was not cheaper for me. So Larry did the analysis, and he says it wasn't cheaper for him. And that's possible. That's very much possible. It all depends. All depends on where you live. What region, how much competition there are for providing plans. All those have a bearing on the cost. Dan, it is 3 months. If you are not getting your Social Security, it becomes monthly after you. Oh, I see. Okay. So because I'm receiving my Social Security, then it's 3 months. Mel says I'm buffering. And I also notice when the live is uploaded to YouTube, that I can see myself buffering on there. And so I'm just wondering if this is a StreamYard problem, this is a YouTube problem, or what's going on, with that. So anyway, I've given you pretty much all the factoids the way that I know it. Let's see, it also depends on what you have to pay through your work. Yeah, if you're not, for example, I'm no longer working, obviously, I'm retired. And so it depends on the group plan that's provided by your employer. If you're still working, then you have to buy it. You have to buy it through your work if your work is offering it. Okay, Tim says he hasn't seen buffering yet. It may be happening regionally in different areas. Not buffering on my end. All right, so basically that's all I got for you guys today. I would like for you to explore the Facebook thing that I was talking about. Is Facebook really, um, you know, friends on Facebook really your friends? I mean, that's how I would word it. And then go read a few articles that talks about the aspects of friends on Facebook and what it means to each generation. You see, because it may be true that Generation X is the key. In other words, that they're able to maintain friendships more fluidly through social media. But it may not be true for folks that are older and or younger. This is the reason why I wanted to bring up this point about Facebook. What you got? What you got? Why you chaka? Hello, my friend. How are you? Thanks for coming to the live. So explore those because I have a feeling that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. Thank you also to the 15 people that are in the chat right now and the ones that have come and gone. I hope I didn't scare anybody away by sharing my viewpoints. But I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to share information because it's very thought-provoking. Hello, APAC Family TV. Thanks for coming to the live. So do explorations on this. It's very interesting. It has an impact. Facebook has an impact generationally. It means something differently to each group. And so it can be very, very true that for a younger audience who grew up in the high-tech world, that are growing up now in this high-tech world, that it becomes the primary source of friendships is online meetings, online friendships. That they may never meet the person they're chatting with online during their entire lifetimes, but they will still be considered close friends. So the socialization process is different, than the way it occurred for me, which was riding our Stingray bikes, our Schwinn Stingrays, down the street, to the elementary school that had a basketball court, where we throw the ball around, or we'd play different games, that sort of thing. Hey, good night, Jim. Didn't know you were here. Thanks for coming. So, or it may become more important. Disability might have an impact on it. The fact that you have limited mobility, and the only way you're able to communicate and maintain friendships is through social media, no matter what generation you were from. So, I mean, it's amazing to me. I mean, when you see a small child grab a phone and they know how to use it, yet nobody has ever showed them how to use the phone. Aren't people curious about that? I mean, I've seen it. Sitting on your parents' front porch. Yes, that's how you socialize. And so how do you emulate that or copy that feeling of sitting on the front porch in a social media platform? Has Facebook done it? Right, but I just would like to point one more thing out before we sign off here, right? And that is that Facebook is extremely successful in Asia. I just want to point that out. Continues to grow and have influence. In the United States, apparently not so much. So apparently in the USA, it's starting to teeter a little bit. It's starting to no one's quite sure why, except that when I approached a young lady about it recently, a friend of mine who lives in the state, I should say a relative, she kind of went, Facebook? What the hell are you talking about? Nobody that I know uses Facebook in this. None of my friends do. I wouldn't be caught dead on that platform. But here in the Philippines, people are constantly walking around on that like this, right? They're like this. And when you go take a peek over their shoulder, what's inside there? Oh, they're chatting with they're posting their pictures and selfies and doing all this crap in Facebook. It amazes me. Like I said, though, even more amazing is how could a little kid, 3, 4 years old, pick up a phone, never having touched one in their entire life, and know how the thing works? Could it be that they were born with a high-tech gene? Could it be that there's a thing such as a high-tech gene, that is genetics, that is evolution in play? Young people think it is for old people, and it may be for old people. Isn't that why Meta or Facebook keeps laying off hundreds of people? They keep laying them off, and their income is starting to decline. Advertisers are fleeing. They're running away. I mean, I don't know. I'm just posing it as a question. So I think that people are starting to discover this, even in Asia, even in the Philippines, and they're starting to question the benefits of being on Facebook. But there's no doubt that Messenger is a fantastic way of communicating. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind, I should say. For me, there's no better way of communicating than through Messenger. But I was around when Messenger was a standalone company that was the main product before Facebook went in there and scooped them up. So somebody correct me if my facts are wrong on this, but was not Messenger a standalone app, a standalone program that was just used to talk to your friends all over the world, wherever they might be? And then Facebook looked at them as being a threat to their business. And they went in there and they paid $1 billion. I don't even know how much money. I just grabbed $1 billion out of thin air. I really don't know how much money, but it was a ton of money. And they bought Messenger and they integrated into their system. And so now they're all one. So Leonard said, yes, it was. So it was a standalone. And for some reason, Mark, what's his name, went in there and said, uh-oh, we have competition in Messenger. We better scoop them up. And they went in there and made all those people rich. And now, of course, Messenger is probably the number one. It was not a mistake buying it up. It's probably the number one way that most people communicate with their friends around the world. Oh, thank you, Crystals. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Everybody for being here. And I think the next time we meet next week, the build up to the drawing, when 15 people are going to walk away with Christmas cash in their pocket or their Gcash account, I think that I'm going to focus on Filipino issues, that have caught my attention. So next week, prior to the drawing, we'll talk a little bit about the 5 top social issues that affect Filipinos. I'm talking about current stuff like poverty, underemployment, unemployment, and education. How they strive to educate themselves and what a challenge it is, searching around for that money in order to pay that tuition fee. We're going to talk a little bit more about that next week in the build-up to the drawing. It's time to make the donuts. We're headed down to the Dunkin' Donuts by Prince Mall. I'm scooping up Man Mini. We're heading out. We might even stop at Inasal and have some. We'll just go over and have some sweets over at Dunkin', and then we'll wait till 11 where we won't stick out so much, having the halo at the Inasal, who has the best halo in the world, in my own opinion, my own humble opinion. Thank you so much for being here. let's see if we get Lazy Larry Lee to lead us out of this live stream with his famous statement. Oh, by the way, don't miss the Larry Lee show coming up soon to a YouTube channel near you. Don't miss the Lazy Larry Lee show. I go there and I'm fascinated. Don't always go up on the panel, but I just enjoy listening to that resonating, beautiful voice as Lazy Larry Lee shares his experiences in life and stories with the rest of us. We're so blessed to have a guy like Larry Lee, and we're so blessed to have all these supporters that share memberships in both of our channels. Thank you. Thanks so much. We'll see everybody in the next live. I'm going to go say goodbye to everyone after I read his lead out, which is take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy, plus always try to have fun. Words to live by. We'll see everybody later next week for the big drawing, the big Christmas cash drawing. Thank you. We'll enjoy the donuts. Oh, yeah, of course. I'm coming to your house, Crystals, for the Hollow Hollow. I'm coming to your house. I'm on my way. Yeah. Bye, everyone. Bye, Larice. I'll enjoy it. We'll have a Bavarian cream. I'll have one for you. Chris Tyne, you're in the contest. Take care. Don't miss the drawing. You must be there to win. Knit Band, if you're there somewhere in the background, thanks so much for your contributions. Thanks to everyone for their contributions. We'll see everyone next week. Bye-bye. Take care, Tim. Mel, we'll be chatting with you soon. Melanie, same. Take care. Get those Saturday chores done. And we'll see you, like I said, for the big drawing next week. Bye. I'm out of here. All right.